The further teachings of Lao Tzu 122. Lao Tzu said, "Lords have names, but no one knows their real condition. Lords value their virtue. Kings value their justice. Hegemons understand designs. The way of sages has no possessiveness toward anything. It is only after the way narrows that it concedes to knowledge. It is only after virtue is diluted that it concedes to punishment. It is only after perception becomes shallow that it concedes to examination. When knowledge is allowed to take over, there is disturbance in the mind. When punishment is allowed to take over, there is bitterness between rulers and ruled. When examination is allowed to take over, those below seek improvement to serve those above, thereby becoming corrupt. Therefore, sages evolve according to heaven and earth. Thus their virtues cover like heaven and support like earth. They guide the people according to the time, so their livelihood is rich. Enrich their livelihood and people are orderly. Even if there were spiritual sages, why would they change this? Detach from intellectual knowledge, minimize punishments, and return to clarity and calm. Then people will naturally be upright. The leadership of the way is priestly. It is solemn, mysteriously silent, yet the whole world receives its blessings. It covers one person without being too broad. It covers 10,000 people without being too narrow. Therefore, excessive favor and excessive harshness are both contrary to the way. Those who do favors give generously, but if they richly reward those who have not achieved anything and give high ranks to those who have not done any work, then people who are employed will be lazy in their offices, and those who live at leisure will be quick to advance. Harshness means arbitrary execution resulting in the death of innocence. When those who practice the way are punished, then people who cultivate themselves will not be encouraged to goodness, and evildoers will readily violate the law. Favoritism creates treachery. Harshness creates disorder. Treacherous and disorderly Moors are the fashions of a morbid nation. Therefore, when a nation executes criminals, it is not that the ruler is angered, and when a court presents awards, the ruler has nothing to do with it. The criminals do not resent the ruler because their punishment fits their crime, and those who are rewarded do not feel indebted to the ruler because it was brought about by their own achievement. When the punishments and rewards of the people all come from themselves, they do their work without receiving gifts from others. Then the courts are empty and have no affairs, while the fields are clear and are free of pollution. Thus the very greatest leaders are generally only known to exist. The royal way is to manage uncontrived business and carry out wordless instruction. Clear, calm, and unperturbed, it is unified and unshakable. Delegating authority to subordinates according to the flow of events, monitoring achievements without toiling. Plans are not miscalculated. Undertakings are not excessive. Words are not embellished. Actions are not formalized for show. Proceeding and withdrawing accord with the time. Activity and passivity follow reason. There is no liking or disliking involved in distinguishing beauty from ugliness. No delight or anger involved in reward and punishment. Names indicate themselves. Categories construe themselves. Events come about spontaneously. Nothing comes from the ego. If you want to narrow this down, that is to depart from it. If you want to embellish it, that is to pillage it. The heavenly energy makes the higher soul. The earthly energy makes the lower soul. Return them to recondite subtly, so that each abides in its abode, and watch over them so as not to lose them. Above there is a continuity with universal oneness, and the vitality of universal oneness connects with heaven. The way of heaven is silent. It has no appearance, no pattern. It is so vast that its limits cannot be reached. It is so deep that it cannot be fathomed. It is always evolving along with people, but knowledge cannot grasp it. It turns like a wheel, beginninglessly and endlessly, effective as a spirit, open and empty. It goes along with the flow, always coming afterward and never in the forefront. Its way of sensitive government is to open the mind and weaken ambition, to purify awareness and not to be ignorant. This is what gets people to cooperate, to make progress together, with everyone contributing the best of their own abilities, whatever they may be. The leaders gain the means to regulate administrators, and the administrators gain the means to implement the task of leadership. This is how an orderly country is enlightened.